welcome to Young Kizzy, the one YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red subscribe button down below and turn on the bell icon. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section.
I want to send a warning to the members of parliament. The same way I sent a warning to the Constitutional Court. Reason being that I want to come and say, I told you so. Yeah, I have a good man. It's God. In my husband's house, you are in the bubu. Hi. Nachirai bati bazambe wale tasha barume bandi in my husband's house one for family. Apanga tawa upuata kuni kuranda pati in my husband's house. Chingola bachingola na mchula. Bachingola na mchula. Bachingola na mchula bachingola. Bachingola na mchula. Bachingola na mchula. And you went out in numbers to vote for this HH. This Mr. Haka in the Hichilema. Chila womwe na chingola. Mwa votere kwati mwuri bakudundu mwezi. Bachingola na bachira womwe you vote. Mwafumyapo na barichaji musukwa mwakwata mwasareta kabuswe turning God into copper. Bachingola na mchura. Bachingola nshishi verapa uvefi ya kumichitila bachingola. But bachingola, you know what to do. Bachingola, you voted for a government that literally doesn't care for you. It's very sad. But today I've got a lot of things to talk about. And the truth cannot go untold. And my main focus is to the members of parliament. I want to put this live on record such that when these things happen, maybe 3 months, 6 months, even a year from now, if they dare make a mistake, I will come and tell them, I told you so. You see, I will always talk about this because I told you so. And I want abantu kulamibuksha constantly because when na Zambia to alikuwa tendency ya kulabe into fast. So I will remind you again in this video to say I'm a judges ba constitutional court to alibebe. The day before the judgment, there were hours left before they can deliver that sham of a judgment in the LHB case of Edgar Chagwalongo. Again, I sat down, and I pleaded with the judges, and I spoke to the judges, particularly the vice president and the president of Concord. And I told them to say, because you see, there was time to reverse whatever they wanted to do with the eligibility of Edgar Chagwalongo. Like I said, we had the judgment even before it was read. That's why there was no need for people to even go to court because we had seen the judgment. But there was still time to change, to stand up for and protect the Constitutional Court. So in those hours before that judgment was read, I pleaded with the judges, I talked to the judges, I called the judges to say, what you are making today, it is going to come and haunt you later. You are enabling a dictator. That was on the 9th of December, 2024. And on the 10th of December, that judgment was going to be passed. And I pleaded, no one I want, Pambadi. I pleaded to say, You can't do this. You're enabling a dictator. And when you enable this dictator, he thinks he can get away with anything. He will have you under your palms. And when he has you under your palms, what's going to be doing is that he will do anything, and I mean anything, to get his way. He will now say, I've got these guys under my palms, therefore, I can get away with anything. And the moment you decide to rule otherwise, this guy will turn around against you. And I told this country to say, this thing that you are doing, I told the opposition leaders, I said, this thing where you're seeing Edgar Chagwa Lungu as an obstacle for you not to become president, it is the other way around. Rally behind Edgar Chagwa Lungu, protect Edgar Chagwa Lungu, and in return, Edgar Chagwa Lungu will protect everyone, and the constitution will be protected. I said, this eligibility case is bigger than Edgar Chagwa Lungu. It has everything to do with the constitution. To see what is happening today. And some people still don't get it. They don't get it. They still think this is a game. Zambian people still think Kawambe. You see what Bakainde Ishlem and UPND have done? They've made sure that those people that were vocal, those voices, Pilato's voices, even Uyuale Senda, which is very bizarre, to have Laura Miti be given a humanitarian award when she doesn't speak for the Zambians. These were Biflo. They're so, if you have seen like Biflo, for example, this person was so vocal in regard with Bill 10. This person spoke a lot in regard with Bill 10. Today, Biflo, Aleshtafa advertise Utumanimbo. It is because all these celebrities in Zambia at the moment, as I speak, let me tell you, umuntu shidelanda ninshi aledia. Mwanfwa. These celebrities that you see, they are quiet. That's why I even talks to Mutale Mwanza, and I think she heard when I said it. And when I told her to say, ukuambo kurora Mutale Mwanza teko. Because they went as far as even reaching to Mutale Mwanza so that she starts supporting things that she doesn't even understand. Bill 7. Okay. So each and every celebrity, now they've got them under their palm. That's why they cannot stand up for this country and what is right. We don't have the Mandingos of Malawi in Zambia. Imagine Mandingo, because he does not eat from the palms of a politician. He stood up and asked Chakwera, are you the one? In his face. Tell me one celebrity in this country that can have the balls, the guts to stand up to HH and tell him, are you the one? Nobody. So why do you even listen to these people that cannot stand up to HH? Where is the Mandingo of Zambia? A musician that can stand up and face HH. You said no to Bill 7. To Bill 10. Why are you bringing the same thing that you spoke against? Nobody. But they're being, trying to make you all busy with useless awards and so on and so forth, just to entertain you, just to get your mind away from the actual things that are happening that's going to affect even them and their children. But that's UPND's strategy. That's how they've strategized this whole thing. They don't want people to speak. They don't want people to challenge them. They don't want these celebrities to use their voices for what is right for this country. So all these people that you are seeing, Ways, for example, they were so vocal. They could even go as far as protesting in the bush just to have their words, their voices heard. Today they are quiet. The last thing is happening. The Bill 7 is worse than Bill 10. Bill 7 is worse than Bill 7 is worse than Bill 10. And for me, on principle, not forget about the clauses and everything like that. The very fact that Hakainde Hichilema sat next to Costa and opposed this bill and said you cannot say because of one clause to say it is progressive. Poison is poison. Just on that principle, There's absolutely no way you can support something that you oppose. You yourself, Mr. Hakainde Ichilema, that you oppose when you were in opposition. To turn around 360 degrees to come and support something that is even worse than what you were opposing. Just on that, Mwemena Zambia, just on that, principally speaking, we cannot even be entertaining what the UPND are suggesting. We cannot. A man, a human being must live by his words. If it was wrong in PF, it is wrong in UPND. What was good for the goose is good for the gander. What is bad for the goose is bad for the gander. So you cannot say because it was the Patriotic Front, then now it's UPND, then things are different. No. Mind you, this should even open your eyes and open your mindset to say, if a man can turn around 360 degrees for something that he really opposed, that man is not fit to be a leader. That man is not okay to hold that office because integrity-wise is not there. So how can you trust a man that has turned around, pretend everything that he opposed is done it even worse, and you think that man has got the best interest, your best interest at heart? Those are the questions that you people need to be asking yourselves. HH cannot be trusted. It is established. It is no lie that HH is an unestablished liar. Mr. Hakainde Ichilema is an established liar and he creates lies even. Just the other day was talking about how Bamutinta saw a footage on TikTok of him kissing a young woman. None of us, we are on TikTok, we are on Facebook. None of us saw that video at all, unless you tell me to say you lied to Bamutinta that it is AI. But it really, if that video was there, people would have seen it. People would have seen it on TikTok, on Facebook being shared. But this is a man that thrives on lies. This is a man that went into government based on lies and propaganda. Now, are you telling me, is this the man that you want to entrust and give all your privilege and your constitutional rights to say he should take over everything? This is a man that signed a cybersecurity bill in hiding. If not for the American embassy, even today, we would have not known that HH had signed the Cybersecurity Act bill. How can you then throw away the little rights that is left with you and just pour it into one man? Now, today, members of parliament, including the UPND members of parliament, I'm going to tell you this. You are first debating something that is illegal, something that you cannot table. Listen, what the judgments say, which I have here, is this, okay? Now, I'll tell you this. The Concord had 5 judges, 7 judges. 3 were the minority and 4 were the majority judgment. So the judgment for the majority went, I read, and as follows. Mumfwe judgment, because you want to I saw a Speaker of National Assembly saying, where does the bill say it's unconstitutional? Now listen to what the judgment say of the majority judgment, which I'm telling you right now, Zambia, which actually the Constitutional Court itself is under attack. It attacked itself, and HH thinks it can manipulate that Constitutional Court to get away those judges that voted against against him and bring in judges so that they can turn around that judgment and say, no, the process was okay. Now, this is the final court of our country. Now, HH is ignorant at law. It doesn't understand the implications of what he's doing. You understand the implications of what HH is doing. Because if there is no law in the country, as we stand, as we sit here, as you listen to this live, the Zambian people, majority of the Zambian people have lost trust in the judicial system of Zambia. And this thing that you want to do will be the last nail in the coffin. Now, a country becomes lawless when the judicial system is not operating accordingly. So now we feel about HH Ballet Fire, where the Concord has ruled. The Concord have made its judgment, but HH constantly is going. And because there is hunger in this country, and some members of parliament, your MPs, they are saying yo to the Nkongole, so no, but let me tell you, a lot of Zambians, because of load shedding, because of the high cost of living, but are you going to sell this country? Are you going to betray this country because of Nkongole Shomkwet? Nkongole tabaka kapo muntu, Nkongole kulanda inayo kada kwansho kudipend 200 kwacha payment, ni 500 kwacha payment, kukot ba jaja. You cannot sell your country based on Nkongole Shumwale Kongora. You want to live a comfortable life. Let me tell you something. Even that comfortable life, imamwema MPs, you will not live it. You will not live it. Don't let me ever chinene chinka name. You don't know the man you are dealing with. HH alefwa absolute power. Muka mupasa maka. Mwinjikisha mchinyanja. But let's just go through this judgment of the majority judgment. Okay? So, I'll just read the last part. It says, and I quote, "In conclusion, we restate that being a constitutional amendment challenge, this petition should have been handled within the ambit of Article 79 of the Constitution, since it is the principle governing law on the subject. And had the petition been handled within the ambit of Article 79 of the Constitution, it would have been found that the provision had not been contravened." Further, wider public consultation prior to the generation of the Constitutional Amendment Bill are a matter of practice. The absence of such consultations cannot therefore be a basis of nullifying minority judgment. Minority judgment. So, here's where the story is. The absence of such cannot therefore be a basis of nullifying constitutional amendment process without proof of breach of Article 79 of the Constitution. Accordingly, we would dismiss the petition and make no order to cost. Now, these three judges are the judges that ruled in favor of HH. Their names are Deputy President A.M. Shilimi. Now, A.M. Shilimi, this is a long-time business associate of Hakainde Hichilema. This is the Deputy President High Court Judge who was appointed to that position. It is alleged that he was not even qualified. I remember that John Sangwa was saying Shilimi should not even hold that position. I think everybody Kuskuru to hold that position. Now that was a guy that ruled in favor of Hakainde Hichilema. Then there was Kenneth Mulife. Kenneth Mulife is also the Constitutional Court judge that ruled in favor of Hakainde Hichilema under this petition of the Constitutional Bill. Then Mudina AMZ Mwandenga. Mwandenga is also somehow related. There's some relations. I think I remember when I was reading about the eligibility case. I'll find the relation. Also, so these three judges ruled in favor of Hakainde Hichilema. Now, during the eligibility case, we have this circle of judges, okay? And the relationship of these judges, this Justice Arnold Muitwa Shilimi, who's the Deputy President of the Concord, is a close business associate to President Hakainde Hichilema. Then the majority judgment, where's the majority? The majority judgment now, which ruled against Hakainde Hichilema. I'm going to read it, okay? And I'll tell you the judges that ruled against Hakainde Hichilema's bill. What the majority judgment said was this: in our considered view, a process which seeks to amend the Constitution in the absence of evidence of a consensus following wide consultation with the people cannot promote democracy, good governance, and constitutionalism, as espoused in the Constitution, we opine that the critical point of reaching the consensus is at the initiation stage of the amendment process. We have noted the respondents' argument that the proposed amendments relate to non-contentious issues. We are not convinced. More so as even so-called non-contentious issues can change the Constitution fundamentally. The only way to properly protect the Constitution is to take every amendment process through a wider consultation process with the people at inception. Let me translate what they're saying. So the Concord is saying, a constitutional bill, church folks that impose on us as a people, but Concord just because that these are non-contentious issues, that does not promote democracy. Now, good governance. The amendment of the Constitution, if we ambira pakubala, the initiation stage, meaning Abena church, if you remember very well, church was moving in our documents mutumba. No kulaibo kwebo kutina tuchita agree ukuchita amend Constitution. That is evidence number one. Because that Constitution, it is not Hakainde Ichilema's property. So how then does a president move with documents? Mumatumba. No kufunyama documents, no kulaiba abandu but we have agreed to amend the Constitution. The question that we asked Hakainde Ichilema was, who did you agree to amend the Constitution with? Because you did not even consult. This is on record. And then he said, no, because we want to increase more women participation and more youths. My elections, he wanted to woundweak the women. He wanted to woundweak the youths. Now, just there and then, that a Republican president can be moving with the draft Constitution in his pocket like it is his personal property, undermines everything that we are doing today about Constitution amendment process. There and then showed you to say, Hakainde Ichilema temuntu wa kuchetekela yo. Ambo kubula Constitution ya charo, ambo kulaenda na yo matumba, kwa tina kalimori buku yako na njono yako, iya kwe bati, ale umuineka isuminisha munganda mwakwe, elo ambo kwe kwa bantu we have accepted, we have agreed to amend the Constitution. There was, in the first place, Hakainde Ichilema did not consult anybody. Hakainde Ichilema mbai kere na kavesha. It's direct kabesha. Ukweba state draft Constitution. And after draft kabesha, Hakainde ambo kwenda na yoma tumba. No kweba kuti yo na tuchita agree. Now the courts are saying, we have noted the respondents' argument that the proposed amendments relate to non-contentious issues. We are not convinced. The Concord is not convinced. More so as even the so-called non-contentious can change the Constitution fundamentally. The only way to properly protect this Constitution that we have is to take every amendment process through a wide consultation process with the people at inception. Inception meaning pakubala. Pakwamba. In the beginning, God created the Genesis. Not if you formulate stamina Hakainde Ichilema yo. The courts are saying at inception, mwana. Yeah, you want to fertilize an egg, an embryo, you do everything. At inception, pakubala. This is what the courts are saying. Then they go ahead and they said, having considered the Constitution as a whole, Constitution as a whole, Constitution, The court is saying, in particular, Article 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, 61, 90, 91, 92, and 118. We have come to the inescapable conclusion. You cannot escape this conclusion. The courts are saying, that's to make a conclusion. We cannot even try and unwick it all. This conclusion that we have come to, it's not negotiable. It's non-negotiable. So the courts then say that the constitution amendment process cannot be initiated without the participation of the people of Zambia through a wide consultation. In the absence of any evidence that this initial process undertaken by the respondent meets the expectation of wide consultation with the people, as stated above, we are of the firm view that the initiation process lacks legitimacy. The Constitution, the Concord is saying, this whole thing is not legal, it lacks legitimacy, it cannot legitimize it, therefore this thing cannot even happen. Moreover, this is what the courts of law are saying to you, the people of Zambia, to Hakainde, to parliament, to members of parliament. The courts are saying, this whole thing, you can't legitimize this thing. It lacks legitimacy. It cannot even be talked about. We can't even debate it. This is the supreme law of the land that is saying this. The court that, Zambia should stand up for this, because once you destroy it, you have everything. You have the judgment in your palms. The courts have given you the power as the people. Use this to oppose this nonsense of the bill. It has given you, if you don't have this, I posted it on the page, you have it. Now the people have got the power. But the power has even been given more to the people by the courts. The constitutional courts. This whole thing lacks legitimacy. This is what the courts is saying. Then they say, and I quote, we declare that the decision by the respondent, meaning Anton General Kabesha, who's representing Hakainde Hichilema, the courts are saying, accordingly, we grant the following relief. We declare that the decision by the respondents to initiate a constitutional amendment process before undertaking wider consultation with the people goes against the spirits of goes against, this is what the constitution goes, it's not me. But to respond to this petition, Kabesha represents Hakainde Hichilema. Now, the courts have cited articles in our current constitution. And the courts are saying, accordingly, we grant the following relief. They've granted the following relief. Now they're telling Kabesha and Hakainde Hichilema, they're saying, we declare that the decision by the respondent to initiate a constitutional amendment process before undertaking wide consultation with the people goes against the spirit. It goes against the constitution. One, the spirit of articles 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, 61, 90, 91, and 92 of the constitution. That is in clear breach of the constitution. You are a lawyer. This is what the court's saying. Meaning, if it goes in the spirit of article this and this of the Constitution of Zambia, it is in clear breach of the Constitution. Therefore, Kabesha, Hakainde Hichilema, Parliament, the committee that was they are abrogating the Constitution. Every judgment in the land. That's why that thing was not supposed to be fair. That thing was going to be withdrawn because it's contravening these articles of our constitution, which is a breach of the Constitution of Zambia. And the court say, we order that the respondent comply Guys, namumva, this was an order, wherever. Hey! And I'm telling you, you members of parliament, you are reading this and it is in plain English. Anybody can understand that. No. There is no pencurium here. There is a straightforward English. The court ordered. We order that the respondent complies with the spirit of the Constitution by ensuring a people-driven process led by the independent body of experts in conducting wider consultation with the people. Each party is to bear their own cost. Now, what's more interesting is this. This was signed by the following judges. By one judge who happens to be the president of the Constitution, appointed by Hakainde Hichilema, the person that ruled against Edgar Chagwa has ruled against Hakainde Hichilema in the matter regarding the constitutional amendment. Now you see, Bamunara, you can vote her in anything. But one thing she has been is consistent with the Constitution. Even if she didn't like my Edgar Chagwa, because she's been consistent with her judgment, for example, sorry, not the Constitution. She's been consistent with her judgment. She ruled against Edgar Chagwa in 2021. Even when they brought the Jubeas case back, she still ruled against, meaning she was consistent with her judgment. She did not change. Okay? On this regard, it has nothing to do with Edgar Chagwa. It has everything to do with the constitution of our country. Munaruna, president of the constitutional courts, ruled against Hakainde Hichilema to say, ukukwena yo, ukukwena awe. This is wrong. Now, what's interesting is to see how Hakainde Hichilema reacts towards Munarura. Because I believe if Munarura ruled that, she's definitely going to stand by her judgment, unless otherwise. So the judges that ruled, one, President of the Constitutional Court, Margaret Munarura, M. Masaluke, Constitutional Court Judge, M. K. Chisunka, Constitutional Court Judge, and M.Z. Mulongoti, Constitutional Court Judge. The people that ruled with HH are his own tribesmen. This is the truth. Mamona. So we are living in a very, very dangerous moment. So now there's this notion of wanting to take back, to change this judgment. Now, already the current constitution in its form gives the president power to appoint, to fire the judges. Ela imamuime, muise mupere absolute power HH. Imamuima MPs imu. Because even you, by UPND MPs, you are not safe. You know what's protecting Garin Kombo? What's protecting Garin Kombo is the fact of that the current constitution cannot allow HH to fire him as MP. When you amend this constitution and bring in this proportional representation that you're calling, right now South Africa, as I speak, they want to do away with proportional representation. You know why? Let me tell you a story what is happening in South Africa. Jacob Zuma's daughter was found in some corruption scandals. Now, here's the funny thing. South Africa has got a system of proportional representation. Muzambia. And South Africans have had enough of this. Now, guess who's replacing Jacob Zuma? The person replacing that is the half-sister to that daughter who's been found wanting. And these are the dangers of proportional representation. Now, you have a situation now, as we speak, where nepotism and tribalism has taken the center stage in institutions of government. You have Venaneri moods that have removed their logic. We've come from the same village together. Eh? Blockage. We come from the same village together. Then you want now to give them absolute power. Okay? Now you are thinking, if we do this, we are protecting ourselves because Aka in the each will protect you. No! Pakawa disagreement inga, imo, and Aka in the Ishema will fire you at will. Mamona. So the dangers of this thing that you want to bring is the absence of a democratic process where people have to elect their own leaders that they wish. Because what will happen is that president already we have seen Mingarato going on with the current thing, with the current constitution. Now imagine if you give him absolute power. There will be nothing there to protect you. Even the little thing here, this by-election to say, oh, Article 52 shall into Eka in the issue when we ask the oppose. Now imagine if you remove even the possibilities of having a democratic process of electing another leader. These elections that are being created, they've been done deliberately by UPND to accumulate more numbers in parliament so they can pass this bill. You cannot call that as a fair thing. They've focused more on ensuring they take away the seats of the opposition. Not necessarily that those seats needed to be nullified, no. But because of their mingalato. So you cannot justify the by-elections that we've been having to say, oh, because of by-elections and costs. And you want to weak people to think, oh, maybe the cost. If this government cared, they would have cared enough to reduce the high cost of living and not creating by-elections. Right now, you have HH where is using Chabinga. You understand? I laughed when I saw people saying, oh, but PF, you could have just replaced Tasila Lungu. Replace Tasila Lungu with which PF? With which member? Because HH now can just tell Chabinga to send the fire usonto you too much to replace. This is the danger. You are totally destroying the democracy of our country. And for these MPs, they think, oh, Balampelaka something. It is rumored that Moise Mwaridian Darama. No measure MP Mwadi, she survive for how long? Because the moment you sign this bill into action, HH will remove you. Once oof. Takuraj Mawa UPND. It will replace you at will. Forget the limitation. Your limitation is just once a way to make you feel like you are counted. HH will remove you already. Alabeba bantu bakoko Southern province. It is rumored to say, ama MPs olo abeti ale bakalipira. Ukwebat ine atala bashauta. HH ala shauta ama MPs. Ukwebat ngate ine ngatabani nefi. Na limi bombela. Neo presidency. I'm the first stronger president. Ofu abashauta. Temu fifi nderanda. Ama MPs bali kachingo kwa kababela ama UPND MPs. Number mumupere na amaka alem start retifi what fipuba kwata mano ama mumupere amaka all because you come from the same village together ukaya kola kofe wakora bakutamfia bakustudy press. There will be no democratic process in choosing who should and should not represent the people of Zambia. So these are the dangers of this proportional representation that you're saying. Coming to women, the current constitution provides the platform for women to participate in politics. The people with disabilities, they are there. HH, a good example. And then you say, I care for people with disability. Can run from that distance of the car and do what he did. Yeah? Oh, I care for people with disability. I'm a youth. The highest institution of the land. If you must and he wants to look you like he cares for you. He doesn't. HH cares about himself. Mube pushama MPs va UPND for bashautiwa. For batukaniwa kuri HH. Tabachi ndama oropa no. Tabachi ndama we bamona feed them parliament. Jonze kula tutuma mulamu tutuma fyo muntu. Ela mwana na mpera maka yonse mo ba UPND aka mifumi apo na ifobele mo if bena nkandu imwe mwina mo na mkwata mano because muni UPND ale mi bonfi afe because ale former vote ya kubabemba de aka mukamupera maka HH imo ba nkandu ba chipoka ba imo fyonse mo mona kwata kadi mwalikwata sana mano aka mishtabe repress wino fena shtaika shade Kairi has gotten what he wants. That is his nature. You have a chance to stop this man from becoming a full-fledged dictator. And when I mean full-fledged dictator, I mean where we come from the same village together. This is about the country. This is not just about, Southern province, Eastern province, Western province. No. This is about the country as a whole. That's why you need to think. You need to look into the future. What kind of a country do I want? Because na moment mkaruka fefi puba, mkafe peche bebe. Mkatamwakalala Stephanie fiance. Don't think this cyber security that people have been gagged. Even with my MPs imwe. Once I'm with my MPs mwebali mparliament umu. Ndemi ewe chine ne chinga mkanjibukisha. Ndemi ewe chine chinga fyo ndemi mkanjibukisha. Make this mistake. Pamande make this mistake. Because this government is a government of illegalities. You have this judgment in your palms. You have seen, you've read it. You cannot even be tabling this judgment. This is the final nail in the coffin that HH wants. HH is a user. And when he's done with you, when he's completely done with you, you give him absolute power. And I won't say anything kupirwa kumu. Mwana mkwata mano. Ewa nevofu mwana mwana no, Kairine, shani, ine because in bankandu, you came from nothing, you. Mware chef market, mu bankandu imwe. Mwimwana kwa na mufika, chalwe chi. Bala mi bonfyo kwa bati. Asende kwa ma votes, kubabemba. That's the only reason it's keeping you. You're nothing special. You're not that special. Don't think you're special. Mwanfwa. Don't think you are special. Zambians, they are pleading with you. Zambians have said no to this constitutional amendment. If HH, I have examples na milanga yonsai. Umuntu wale piribuka 360 degrees kwa te warandiri. And you think imo you are special, imo HH aka misunga. Lolele ni muke saibukisha. Akamba fyokula mfumi hapo once. Niya pa. Olede mingara toshire teka. And you think HH is a man you can trust. HH can say one thing today. He will go do then another thing. This is HH. This is who he is. Efya abafye. Nganimpia shosho mwadia. Shirieni fyempia. But you have to stop this man. Staka mipa yo ngamwakana fye biwi china maka yakwa eche nishiapo kushana 3 months 4 months before the dissolution of parliament. You want to sell this country. You want to sell the lives of the people of Zambia. Nama 3 million. What is 3 million? 3 million kwacha. How long will that 3 million sustain you? How long will it sustain you? Imomoma MPs. How long? This is money that the people of Zambia are actually paying. Taxpayers' money. And you want to betray the people of Zambia because of 3 million. You want to kushie charo because of 3 million. Mutonton kanyepo. Otherwise, ukwali nsoko takwafuire muntu. Mwimwa na mkwata sana amano mwimwa MPs. Na mwimwa na UPND MP. Mwimwa na mchenjera. Tamchenjera yo. Uyu HH amitukobwa ira no bwacha amipatro bwa ira no bwacha mwa kwatwa no tu no twa kuibere banishmani kwatabakashi. It does not give you respect. Even Edgar Chagwalungu used to respect you. Ama UPND MPs were more respected in Edgar Chagwalungu's regime than in HH's regime. Baba shauta kwatwa no tu no. Why do I know these things? Because balanje wame na ma UPND MPs. And today na timere HH talks to them like little kids, little boys and girls. The man has got no respect for anybody. And then you want to give him absolute power. Because Mulemutina. Don't be scared of HH today. Be scared of what you will make HH if you sign that bill. This is nothing. Don't be scared of this small HH. Sign that bill and be scared of what you're going to turn HH into. Because I can't say I wasn't the one. I wasn't the one. You guys signed this bill. It's not me. I'm just enacting it. You signed it. You'll be going, Mr. President, we helped you to get this bill. It's not me. It's not me. You signed. It went to Parliament. You know, the MP signed. The opposition MP signed. The other MPs signed. It wasn't me. You signed this bill, and when the law starts applying, you want to say HH. You signed this bill. You're signing an illegal bill that contravenes the current constitution. You're supposed to be lawmakers. You sought to uphold and protect this constitution. And then what time is it? You want to start signing things that you know they are illegal. Or because you want to please that little boy's ego. That little boy that lost the cow. The people of Zambia have said no. The civil society organization have said. The Catholics have said no. The churches have said no. I want to know that no. With your paid up members of parliament. Members of parliament. Ndemi awechile nechinga. Ne ufino kwa mule muna tuwalasa ina biu mukashitari 10 ama seats yeru. Kiss your political careers goodbye. Because if proportional representation mule fokuleta, it will become a one-party state of this country. UPND will become a one-party state. And it was going to replace you at will. HH will replace you at will. Ngamuka ferero takutemeno efita de fo kumana means what you are fired. Replace that person. If we can do the Mingarato now with our current constitution, you, the institutions of this country, have enabled HH to do what he's trying to do. You've got a chance. You need to stop this man. Imomwema members of parliament. And you know that people don't know, or people don't know what is happening. We know what is happening. We know what is happening. So don't think we don't know. You didn't want to make those people, those signatures public. Therefore public, what to which sign a bill in China. Pacting the fiesta, stick in there under. Wait until your political careers finish. HH does not care for anybody. You think he cares for you? He cares about himself. Once he gets what he wants, once he gets HH has shown you all the signs of the kind of character he is. You still believe that HH is doing all these things because he cares for you. He wants to protect his interests. That's all. That's so. He knows he cannot get 50+1 aka in the HDM. And he wants to manipulate, to show that what he is not. To manipulate the most thing that is protecting the people of Zambia. So that he can get his way. Stop Haka in the Ichlema now. The time to stop Haka in the Ichlema is now. Do not go into that parliament and sign this illegal bill. Debating about this bill is illegal. I've read the judgment there. The reason why HH did not want to start the fresh process because he knows he didn't have time. Hence the rationale of bringing up a bill that is unconstitutional, that contravenes the constitution. Anything that contravenes any article in the constitution is in breach of the constitution. It is as simple as ABC. Badi, because he's Let me talk about Kabesha. Do you know why he wants to keep the Attorney General still in power? Because he still wants to control. Even during elections, he wants to control such that when he loses and there's a petition, who will be in charge? Kabesha, Attorney General. They'll still manipulate. Mamona. That's why he wants Attorney General Kabesha to continue being in power even after dissolution of parliament. Mamona. It is all being played. Even said there are some hidden things in this amendment of the constitution that you're not being told. It's not just about delimitation. It is not just about women representation or proportional representation. No, it is these small things that you're not seeing. The stay in office of the Attorney General is a control in the absence that HH loses an election and they petition. Attorney General Kabesha will be in charge of the courts. Now imagine the current courts that we have. How manipulative they can manipulate the outcome of an election. That is why he wants to keep Attorney General Kabesha in office even after dissolution of parliament. So, Attorney General na misref para kasabambo tukana. That's why he wants Kabesha to stay in power. You think we don't know? You think we don't know? That's the main reason he wants the Attorney General to retain. Because he wants somebody to control the courts in an event that he doesn't attend 50+1. That's all. Moment. So all this to my hidden agenda is something that you need to scrutinize. Why does he want this one to remain? These are all his people. These are all his people. But he wants to be sure to say, even when I lose, I've got my people within the system, within the offices that can turn around and manipulate the whole process so I continue being president. While the Attorney General, who's just appointed by the president, continue remaining in power after the dissolution of parliament. Why? I change when got by change.
Oh my goodness.